God, it's a piece of shit. Yes.
All right, we're live.
And we're talking about LinkedIn, everyone. It's a wasteland.
It's
Wasteland of bad
Yeah.
UI, cheesy people trying to tell you that, everybody is a management coach and a life coach. It just annoys the hell out of me.
And don't forget the marketing coaches, how to get more followers, how to, increase your presence on LinkedIn, all of that, which I'm kind of like, look, if you don't have product, why would you have followers?
Well, and you're going to be sending these wonderful messages just like we're sending to you.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to teach you how to do. Send annoying messages to people.
Yeah. But anyhow, that was just related to our streaming efforts here. So, Brad, what do you think's going on today?
Well, I don't know. Maybe an all-time high on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think that was to be expected. I mean,
yeah, it felt like it. I thought it was going to break yesterday. Oh, holy crap. Look at DeFi. Oh, that's 10-minute chart. I'm like, what the
I know. Don't you love that? It's like, oh, the Earth's falling apart. And no, that's the 1-minute chart. It's like,
God. Okay. I mean, I would have been happy. I got that defined stake. So Bitcoin, man. Yeah. I mean, look, we kind of saw it coming,
yeah.
It didn't seem like there was any surprise or shock about it. I guess ETF helps push that over because people think it's really important. I want to see ETH break it because I'm not holding a ton of Bitcoin right now, frankly. But I am holding ETH. So glad to see ETH over 4 and would like to see that. Where was the all-time high on ETH? Do I have that 40, March right?
40, I think it's 43.50, somewhere around there. Because I was looking at that this morning and I was like, where's
43? I have 43.63 marked, but I don't know what it is.
That sounds right. When you look at these charts again in the morning, lots of buying starting at 8 o'clock or 8:30 New York time, all the way up to almost 11. Just like ETH, you see, looks to me like about 120,000 purchased in that range of time. And that's just, I'm looking at just the Binance order.
Right.
Okay. Not Binance US, but Binance Malta. And then you see the same thing in BTC, some buy, about a couple thousand at 8. And then, it looks like about 10,000 bought between 9:45 and 10 a.m., then more, and then a little bit of selling, of course. But, that's institutional buyers, and interestingly enough, when you look at Ben Lilly's piece, it's a day or so old at this point from Jarvis Labs, he's talking about this, that, this isn't ETF or futures buying driven. This is actually spot long buying. So that's what we want to happen. So that means that there is demand for the supply. And when you combine it with all his other analysis, again, they're on like Jarvis Labs, whatever. But Ben Lilly Espresso, and the latest one was called like Healthy Rise. And you see that they feel it's going to price discovery mode. Everybody else I see says that. And what that means, I don't know, Brad. What do you think price discovery mode range is here?
I love these terms. They crack me up.
Just means how high is it going to go?
Yeah, it's a bunch of people waiting to see who's willing to keep buying. I think for Bitcoin, like I saw somebody tweet earlier today. Everybody likes round numbers in this world. So, maybe we'll see a lot of take profit at 70. But maybe it surges past it. It's not moving real fast right now. I mean, it's not like, right now it's kind of hanging out. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it can get to 70. I don't know if it will or not. My mother-in-law is going to be happy. Cause I made her buy some, before the bull market last year. So that's good. Well, that's very interesting because I was just reading, where did that go? Did I just override that article I had open? I think I did. I was just reading this. That is not it. Where did my ETH supply? Oh, here we go. That the reserves at the exchanges are shrinking and staking is growing rapidly before 2.0 is even here. And, you know, at the same time, we're burning ETH, like a lot of friggin' ETH. What's that ETH burns tracker?
Probably enter that in Google and you'll get it. I don't remember all.
Let me Google that for you. Yeah. Here, daily ETH burn chart. Like, you know, I mean, everybody thinks the halving is a big deal for Bitcoin. I'm telling you, this burn model, daily ETH burnt 11,896. Yesterday, 8,521. You know, I mean, this is serious. Like, this is really serious. The deflationary supply of Ethereum, and the fact that exchanges don't have enough, and people locking it into staking, right? I mean, that's a quick and easy, you know, if you do Lido, I don't know how it's pronounced, but, you know, this is a really interesting model, because if you think about it, when you stake at Lido, you get these staking tokens that you can then go borrow against. You know, so you're getting 4.9% on your ETH while ETH is climbing over 4,000. And then you take the ETH tokens they give you, and there's all these other things you can do with them. I got this great guy that I'm connected with, and he and I've talked about trying to do some stuff together. Justin Bram, who also leads a cool project that automates some trading stuff, but called Brink Trade. But Justin Bram's YouTube channel, he's got some ways to leverage ETH on one of his videos. Anyway, I you know, everybody says, well, the flippening, and I always kind of laughed at that, but I'm really starting to wonder if Ethereum is eventually going to surpass here, you know, and relative to like increasing staking, deflationary supply, exchanges running out, I think that bodes pretty well for Ethereum. We'll see what happens. I don't know if the institutional guys are doing as much, but I definitely think, like, if you go to an institutional person, you say, look, you can stake an appreciating token and get 4.9% over that in more of that token, there's going to be a lot of folks interested in that, right? I mean, it's not what you and I want to play with right now, but because we're degens, but there's a lot of folks that would be interested in a play like that. So,
well, yeah, look, if you can increase returns, you know, into like the least risky of plays in the crypto space, and use a portfolio that's 95% in, you know, super conservative traditional finance, I mean, you know, you're employee of the year at that point.
Right. So exactly.
Like, the bonuses are pouring down on you.
Yeah.
So to me, I think
Goldman Sachs job or something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking somewhere along the line, people will figure out how to do that and probably figure out how to hedge out any risk in that little juice side of the returns, to a point where you're just de-risking it even more, or selling it off to somebody else. So, you know, that's the kind of innovation that, you know, people that just spend all the time trying to figure out how to make money, put their brains toward, with the math guys and the chemistry guys and the physics guys, to figure out how to get those returns as safe as possible. So yes, these are great new instruments.
Yeah, like Synthetics has a pool, an ETH pool that earns you fees. Curve has something going on with ETH. So, and I think you can borrow against the ETH if you want, or lend, borrow, lend, whatever, against the ETH. So there's a lot of opportunities for these guys to come in here and make some bank. So anyway.
You know how I'm always talking about Curve. I'm just looking at this screen of yours that's up. And I keep, you know, I talk market cap to TVL and how it's like 0.06 at Curve and it's 0.24 at Aave. But, you know, I mean, it could all be just the user interface right here. I mean, that just looks like, I don't know what, man. It doesn't.
It's intentional. Like, it's supposed to look like
retro.
Yeah, like old Unix interface, I think, is what they're going for, and that's exactly what it looks like. Or the DOS, or if you think about it, DOS interfaces. You know, when people would paint windows in DOS. It's definitely for me, it's kind of nostalgic. That's my early computer days were interfaces at the command line, and then as these progressed. So,
well, my read is that I think the institutional guys are younger than us at this point, and that they don't even. No, a lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of them are. They're the smart ass dudes from MIT and everywhere that are like, Doogie Howser types, like 23, 24. And, they're like, what the hell is this kind of retro look? They don't get it. So to me, I think like I've been messing around a lot on Geist. I'm loading up over there on Phantom just because I figured out a couple 1,000% interest, whatever, staking and some angles there. And, it's the Aave kind of fork on Phantom. To me, that's a clean look. So if I'm like coming in, worrying about, fat finger and, $180 million by accident, the wrong price, I'm super paranoid as hell. I don't want to get fired. And so I'm going to want to go to something that looks like the stuff I'm used to looking at. And so that's where I see, Aave, Geist, those kinds doing really, really well. And I wonder if Curve, maybe, had an institutional facing screen that looked different. It might get that $2.88 token up to like $15.
That's a good point. You know what? You're absolutely right. Now, people can put an interface onto Curve, right? Like they can for a lot of other primitives. Liquidity and Alchemix will have that soon, and Ohm and Olympus DAO will have that soon. So I listened to Zeus from Ohm on Bankless this morning, driving the kids back and forth. Pretty good interview, but he did much better on our show. So my show. So
yeah,
just gonna say that those Bankless guys, they're good, they're great, but they're I peel out the personal shit from people.
Yeah, one of the things I was
on my back.
So 2 other things I initiated on this morning, last night was SIF chain.
Oh, you went back to that? You did? You bought it?
I bought in just because they're so tied with Atom and Cosmos, and because there's a pool.
And you lived happily ever after.
For a couple of thousand APY on QuickSwap. Yeah, I again,
Say hello, Joe. You will live happily ever after at SIF chain.
Yeah. Well, my thesis is
how do I get in there?
Into what?
The DEX?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. no, you buy their token is ROWAN, ROWAN, and on QuickSwap, Polygon QuickSwap, it's EROWAN. So you buy there.
RWAN?
No, Echo, Randy, Oscar, Whiskey, Alpha, Nancy, Erowon.
This one.
Yeah. So
they just are making it so difficult for me to want to do anything with them.
Well, they put in like 5 new pools on QuickSwap.
On QuickSwap?
Yeah.
So they don't have an app.
Honestly, I closed all those pages, but
looking.
You could do. Hold on. All right, Cosmos. No, hold on. Cosmos.
Substantially more transactions per second than Ethereum. It's its own blockchain, though, right?
Allegedly. Now, look.
How deep are you on this one, dude?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, let me explain my thesis. So everybody talks about the concept of layer ones and how you port between layer ones. Okay, so ETH to Phantom, Avalanche, SIF chain, whatever. So to me, I look at it, and we talk a lot about multi-chain liquidity, AMM across multi-chain. And I started thinking that maybe the real hubs are not the layer ones. Maybe the real hubs are the protocols that access the most layer ones. And so to me, anything that's like multi-chain, access on pricing or liquidity and things like that, where it gets to that seamless UI, UX that we talk about, where it's easy to use, where we don't have to like write 20-step programs or whatever to get from one to the other. I mean, it's getting easier than that, don't get me wrong. But something that's user-friendly. But I kind of think it's going to be the intersections now more than the layers themselves. The layer
so
one.
You're basically making a defined play because it's supposed to be a cross-chain DEX.
Yes. And it's integrated with Cosmos, which is Atom, which, is a cross-chain protocol, multi-chain protocol, omni-chain, meta-chain, whatever. It's got the same thing everybody's talking about. And so I'm thinking maybe that's where the builds come from, that they're not going to be the layer-centric builds. They're going to be the nodes in between the layer ones. Just a theory. Obviously, there's many ways to look at it. But, because of that and because I saw a pool on QuickSwap at 2,000%, I said, hey, I've been talking about this for a while. Why don't we get some now? So,
all right, so let me go check out this QuickSwap pool. I still can't figure out. I get very nervous when things are vague, and they are vague. But they've got big people behind them, right? Big investors. Wasn't that what we looked at the other day?
Yeah. There's real investors, and look, I always look at tokens too. So in this case, it has a lot of tokens. It's got a billion.
Oh yeah, Alameda.
Yeah, so it's got real money
Mechanism.
or smart money in it.
Yeah.
They've already got 1 billion tokens out, 250 million are circulating, but there's no inflation on this one. It's already fully diluted. So you don't have that situation where someone has a 40 billion token supply and there's 1 billion out and you're going, oh, it's only a penny. But it's like you're looking at, 990% dilution. This is already fully out. And with Cosmos, they just launched they're kind of doing a Kusama kind of play with something called Sagan, a sort of canary testnet for them, all about cross-chain and multi-chain. So to me, you probably can figure out which one I chose of the pools, but
no, what?
I went for the Atom and Erewhon.
Oh, okay. How do you? I can't believe QuickSwap doesn't have a search yet.
It's hard. It doesn't work. You got to hit the APY button so it scales high to low. And then just scroll down.
Where is the farm? Is it LP mining or dual mining?
LP mining.
Oh, wait, there's the search.
It never really seems to work for me. Maybe a pop-up window issue or something.
There, Erewhon Quick and Erewhon Atom.
I did Atom because, Quick, I don't think Quick's bad. It's got like 150 million market cap with, billions of PVL, but it just doesn't seem to, I don't know. I acquire it and then use it to buy the other token.
Usually. Yeah. Well, that's a nice APY you got running there.
Yeah, so that'll spin off about $50 a day that I can then buy more Atom, which is
that's awesome.
I really want but they've been up like 3 or 4x in 30 days. So I'm wary about the entry point. But here we are getting free Atom, so I quickly DCA that down to 15, $16 when it's trading at about 35. So, that's kind of the play that I look at how to do this.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I haven't looked at quick pools in a long time.
There's always some interesting new stuff there. After a while, I get bored with it. And I guess I'm DeFi. I'm almost hitting my targets.
Shit. What the hell is this?
Oh yeah. I was in mood like about 3 months ago for a day. And it was just, I borrowed, it was when I was first trying to figure this out, and I was borrowing stables and investing in these high APY pools. You could do it. It's just kind of a lot.
You're only getting 0.78 D quick a day. Total rewards $421 a day.
How much is in the pool?
68,000.
Yeah.
But it's still over. I can't count the zeros. What is that? 10 million %?
Something like that.
It doesn't work.
Well, because
there's a lot of Erewhon pools.
Yeah, so I say they launched a whole field of them today or yesterday. So that means it's getting support at the QuickSwap level. And I don't know what haven't figured out. Let me see. Am I looking at that's Cosmos? So Sift Chain, Erewhon on the exchanges. Where are there?
Wait, what was PBR? We were just talking about PBR.
Polka Bridge.
Yeah, 930%.
Yeah, I've liked that one a lot too. I just haven't gotten there yet. Look, I'm in the mode of trying to streamline my portfolio right now to take advantage of the capital transitions that are coming up with, hopefully price discovery and BTC and ETH.
Yep.
And then the big. So I'm rotating up right now from the smaller stuff.
Okay.
Like the Libra stuff and, probably the Spirit stuff, the things, although Spirit's, it's like one of the 2 top ones on Phantom. So I'm not in a big rush there.
Right.
but kind of going more into Aave and Geist and Curve and Atom and Avalanche, groups like that I think, back to Polkadot and Chainlink, one of those two usually. And then start thinking about, Sushi and Uni and groups like that, just because I think that's where, if I'm rotating profits out, that's where I'm heading after ETH.
Right.
Before I go down to NFTs and all the small ones. So I kind of think you can get out now, move up the food chain, and then take the winnings and go back down when, the guideline is usually when these smaller things are trading 95% off the all-time high.
Yep.
For alt season. But, how is that holding up? There was always that transition between BTC and alts, lumping ETH in as an alt in this discussion.
Right.
Do you really see that happening, the big rotations still on your other stuff?
I do. When on our mean reversion indicator, I will see like this morning, it's less. It is less. A year ago, 9 months ago, even maybe 6 months. No, I would say a year ago to 9 months to a year ago, when I would see a run like Bitcoin's making right now, I would see a mass exodus from alts, right? I would get like 150 signals for trades because everybody's dumping their alts to go buy Bitcoin and catch the train. What did I get this morning? Like 6 to 10, something like that. Let me see what my history was for this morning. And I'm out of all those trades. They're not even like dragging. They're not even bleeding. I mean, they're all closing at 1.25 very fast, and they have volume to support, bigger trades right now. So I typically we used to see mass exodus, and now we're not. We're not seeing as much. I don't think it's as tied anymore.
Maybe there's just so many more opportunities, in the
there's more people
space.
Too. Yeah.
I mean, I think that the total non-BTC market cap has got to be getting close to the BTC market cap. I mean, everything. Because but as to the flippening that you referenced earlier, which obviously is when ETH market cap exceeds BTC market cap. I mean, that's something that people have been talking about for a long time, and I kind of think from what you said earlier, from what I can tell, BTC doesn't have a deflationary piece in it. It's stagnant. It's holds steady. And with Ethereum, now that you're actually going to have a net negative or less tokens each time, that's a big thing. Whether
I agree.
At, I don't know. Remember how many are out there of Ethereum, approximately? I don't even pay attention to this stuff anymore.
Let's see. Circulating supply 118 million.
Yeah, so that's 5.5 times ish more than BTC.
Yeah.
So I can do the math. When you're doing a continuous burn and decreasing supply, it essentially is compounding in a negative way.
Yeah.
So that accelerates. The velocity will accelerate in that curve. So to me, this really makes the case of sort of why you're going to want to be in ETH right now, and going forward for the rest of that ecosystem. At least that's one person's interpretation. Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree. I definitely think there's more there. I've been stacking more. I'd like to say it was because I'm brilliant, but I just again went with my gut. So. Well, no, we talked about this months ago, and when you kind of confided that you were stacking ETH at that point, and I was thinking along the same thing, and but I usually was acquiring somewhere in like the 28 range, 27 range. I wasn't doing a lot of acquiring above 32, let's say. Right. But then I started realizing, look, the writing's on the wall on this. That even at this price, it's still not the whole stack. That if you're the first person in, but you definitely should feel how do I put it the right way? A part of something, invest a part of something first. Yeah. And have reinforcements left, dry powder. Yep. Even at this level. Totally agree. So. Totally agree.
It looks like in 24 hours, I've had about 24, 25 signals. A year ago, with this kind of a run by Bitcoin, would have been 140, 150 signals. Yeah, I think people are maturing. The market is maturing.
Yeah, but there's always luckily going to be the stuff that's just a little bit outlaw out there, as in the sense of, where you feel like a rebel or something. But at the same time, you want your stacks getting legitimized too, in the sense that, protected, safe, all of those things. So I like this new inflow. And I like the fact that I just believe that nowadays it can't, go to get cut in half, go to zero, things like that. I think that's off the table now. I agree. Unless it's a complete, whatever, destruction of everything kind of thing. But, when you look at the buys on the books and things at the, 20% below the price, there's a ton of it sitting there to be bought. And that's just the stuff that you can see. That's not the stuff that's in the bots that is trigger driven or price driven, that's sitting on the sidelines because the buys haven't happened yet. So you can't see that, right? Right, Brad?
We can see the orders in our fire charts. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So you can see those orders too.
Absolutely.
But you can't see the conditional ones where it's like if a price hit. Okay.
Well, no, we can see limit orders, but we can't see. We now have margin and options. We see just about everything now.
So unless someone was sitting there manually punching it in
for a market order, that's what we can't see.
Yeah. And that's where like somebody came in today and did a market order, I think of 10,000 BTC or something like that. At one point. So, which was always fun, is move the board, basically buy the board, as I used to call it, but not with something like that, with some like micro penny thing. I'm thinking of GraviX, if you remember that one, but But so, what else?
I just real quick reference for everybody. I love this Twitter account at Fiat Bubble. They also have a Telegram channel. They do these really cool like infographics on like 24-hour growth in DeFi projects by 24-hour volume and top games on BSC. And I don't know what their gig is because I think they have a Discord channel and they have a Telegram channel. I don't know if they're selling something, there's no website, but I don't care. I love the data they're providing. They just do these cool little graphic charts on specific projects, on collections of projects. And it's given me great ideas for guests, but it's also, gives you insights into things that might be moving. This one's interesting. Projects on Polygon with a high social signal. So I guess they're pulling sentiment or number of tweets or number of Facebook posts, whatever relevant to a particular thing, which is like, oh, wait a minute, look at this. Okay, this one's, what the hell's Rev Racing, right? So, and why are 25,000 people talking about it? What the hell is Bone Swap? So, it's an interesting tool. You can go to, they always put the links in the Telegram channel to the ones that they're focused on that are in that graphic. Unstoppable yield farming on Polygon. All right. Is this going to be our next ape, Joe?
Let's see it.
75,000 people are talking about it. Let's see what we got on Bone Swap.
I'm leaning in.
Okay. So they are an AMM on Polygon. I don't know what KCC is, and OKEX chain, which I don't know who's on that chain. Whoops. I just went in somehow. I don't even know which one I'm in. Avalanche. I don't want Avalanche.
Pulling it up. What's the name of it again?
Boneswap.finance.
So we're going to say it's a DEX.
Did it just automatically roll into there? Because I can't even hit the back button. It's a DEX / yield farm / it looks like a pancake swap copy. That's what it looks like. Let's go into the Polygon farm. Oops. This is interesting. Okay. They must have done a bunch of affiliate shit. But how do you get into the DApp? I don't understand.
There's something about an emergency unstake or something like that. So
maybe they're only on Avalanche right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, okay.
Well, but look, this is an interesting thing because I was thinking about this morning. I tend to use one of the reasons, Brad and I have been working together for so long at this point is, you guys know that I look at the financial stuff and try to interpret the numbers in ways that sort of make sense from a traditional finance perspective as well. And then do this, the strategic analysis piece around business model and where I might think the market's going. But there's other metrics too. And Brad hit on one. And I was just thinking about this morning, like the social media sentiment is one. All the things around consumer, will the dogs eat the dog food kind of concept. And, how many followers in a Telegram channel? Is the management team doxed or, hidden? It just different metrics that, he picked up on before I did.
Right.
And, I'm giving you the simplistic ones, of course, that, everybody under the age of 30 probably knows those already. But, it's one of the, I kind of come from a finance perspective and a strategy perspective.
Right.
So, Brad being more of a digital marketing guy too, on top of all of that, and adds a tremendous amount of value to how you look at things. Because those are sort of intangible. They're tangible, but a lot of people don't get that. And then the other thing I was just kind of curious what you thought, Brad, is that if, again, I've heard this before and said it before, but it kind of just bubbled back up in a discourse yesterday. But, cryptocurrency being kind of the internet of money. And I know that sounds trite, but think about, .com and, we were both veterans of that. And, all the things that came out of the carnage. Apple, Apple, the Apple we know today, Amazon, Google, Facebook, those were in carnage or post carnage launches. All these things that changed the world, it all came out of .com bullshit, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me, I'm thinking and analogous to, are we at a Netscape moment yet in crypto, or have we passed it? I heard people saying they don't think we're even there yet. And I'd be kind of curious, just your general thoughts on that.
Well, look, I think we're getting close. I don't think we've hit that yet. It's funny. The other day I was thinking about, I can vividly remember being in a sports bar, and I'm being the guy, just like I am now, less so now though, the guy always talking about the internet and everybody looking at me like, what the fuck is that? And I was beating that horn. I was tooting that horn from like 1995, the first time I logged on to the internet and went crazy. That's when, my partner and I at the time started, the first web-based software as a service provider for small businesses. And we started building it in 1996, 97. And people thought we were extraordinarily insane. Like, this vision that people were going to run applications on the web when people didn't even know what the hell the web was just, I was a nut job. And turns out I should have waited a few years. But anyway, I remember vividly being in a sports bar with a bunch of buddies. And this was later. I'm not sure what year, 98 maybe. And the first consumer product ad I ever saw with a website address in it was an oil company for automobile oil, like, Purelator or whatever. And I said, okay, that's it. That was my Netscape moment, right? It was like, this is real now, because large consumer commercial brands are referencing their website address on major television buys, right? And it wasn't, hey, come check out our new website. It was just, here's our web address along with the rest of the advertisement. So that for me was kind of like this big legitimacy moment. And I knew it was going to explode after that. And so for us now with crypto, it's the same feel of, I'm always the one talking about it. And now my mother-in-law, instead of saying, oh, that stuff's just crazy, right, is now clipping out articles for me about crypto. So I think we're getting closer. My 84-year-old mother-in-law is now paying attention. I think we're getting closer. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I think we're getting very close. The thing that I'm constantly harping about is we have to break one of these primitives into the real world, right? We've got to give people something to do with it that's not just buying and trading or holding. It's got to be like you were talking about, payments oriented or something. And for me, the protocol I think has the best opportunity for that, besides just simplified payments and money transmittals. Don't let me forget to talk about money transmittals in a minute. Is Alchemix, because this whole concept, while it will seem far-fetched to people, of a self-paying loan is something that's incredibly applicable. And I can see it hitting luxury housing, luxury cars, investing in other real life things, because the idea that you can deposit a bunch of money, take half of it out, buy what you want to buy, invest in what you want to invest in, and never pay that back and get all of your money back after a few years, I think is a compelling story, right? And so that's, want to remodel your house, take out an equity loan, put the money into Alchemix, take half out. But the key is it's got to be directly integrated into applications in the Web 2 world, right? It's got to be, to me, so I think it's happening. I think we're getting very close in terms of people who are buying and holding and thinking there's value, but we've got to have real world applications that people want to use. And so I think we're not there yet. So,
well, it's kind of interesting when you think about what people were trading in .coms. You remember, still people try to trade them, the domain names and, things that weren't, they're almost like a token.
Yeah.
In a way, in the sense, other, people are, as trying to NFT them and, point to the domain location and things. That's kind of something going on. But in a lot of ways, you couldn't do anything with them other than buy and sell them. So I think now you see applications for crypto and that you can invest it.
Yep.
You can, I was thinking a lot about how, another layer coming is obviously, if you add liquidity to a liquidity pool, then stake the LP token somewhere, and then get another LP token that you can then stake somewhere else. I think now we're going to see layers of, liquidity where it's going to start kind of not being maybe leveraged up, but in a way where you can keep those spirals going just off the original sort of risk tolerance level that you put in place. It's the sky's the limit. It's all about increasing velocity of capital, so it goes to projects that merit capital. And, that's what we try to do. But this takes it to a level that accelerates it so much, where I started kind of getting a little epiphany about that Internet of Money concept. Or just the
no, but
phrase.
I think that theory totally makes sense. Yeah. Like, I totally agree with you that is, I think we're almost there.
So it's like an ultimate levering of money. So think about the UBI concepts, universal basic income, other nonprofits.
Oh, did you see what Vitalik did today?
No, I missed that one.
Oh, so there's a UBI project. Proof of Humanity is tied to it. Guy Santee, who was scheduled on my show, couldn't make it, so we need to reschedule. But it is actually a protocol that is trying to use yield on blockchain to actually give people a UBI. And Vitalik this morning contributed 50 ETH, or last night, 50 ETH to the project, and then burned the tokens he was given, so that he obviously contributed to he contributed in one way to the project, which I thought was very cool. So I think you're right. Like, look, there are so many ways to make money in this space that the opportunity, it's funny. I tweeted it. Andrew Yang follows me. I tweeted him the other day and I said, Andrew, like we need a DAO that invests in robotics, automation, AI, self-driving trucks. We need to accelerate. The inflation is going to accelerate all of these things, right? These companies that are paying $35 an hour for somebody to work at McDonald's are going to go tired of that, and they are going to automate, and they're going to buy robots, and they're going to invest in that. Because right now, prior to this, I was listening to All In, which is the podcast with Jason Calacanis and Chamath and David Sachs and those guys, and they were talking about this. Right prior to now, it cost too much to invest in robotics. It was cheaper to hire a $10 or $15 an hour worker. But now, when fast food workers are making $25, $30, and $35 an hour, now it becomes feasible to invest in automation. And that's what these companies are going to start doing. They're going to start investing in automating everything: artificial intelligence, robotics, automation, self-driving trucks, and so this whole kind of COVID related, I'm not working this shitty job anymore thing that's happened is actually going to accelerate automation, in my opinion. And that acceleration could be an investment opportunity that could then generate revenue, investment returns that could then actually help pay for a UBI, right? So I think there's some interesting potential here. And I think in what we're doing in DeFi, there's a lot of opportunities to kind of change how human beings live. We've talked about DAOs, we've talked about companies changing and organizations changing. I think that once we hit kind of that peak level, once that hockey stick really starts climbing on the overall market, that we're going to see like a lot of transformational shit happening. The city of Miami just got $7 million for doing nothing from a token project, a BTC-based token project, Citycoin. So there are all kinds of things. And the interesting thing that happens, what I wonder happens in society and culture is when money is easy, right? When making 20% a year on your money is automatic, right? You get paid by whoever pays you, and 20% of that money goes into some yield farm or bonding operation, and it's making you money and making you more money and making you more money. Maybe we all create our own UBI and work becomes a thing of the past. I mean, there is a potential for a lot of what we do to get eliminated for a living because we can actually create self-perpetuating money. But then what becomes the value of money? Like, do we reach? I used to joke about AI. I used to say, what happens when the artificial intelligence salesman is selling to the artificial intelligence buyer, right? What happens when the artificial intelligence marketer is selling to the artificial intelligence buyer, or the consumer robot that's buying for our behalf our groceries? I mean, what happens to society when all of that is entirely automated and there's no need for people to sell or market anymore? I don't know. It's crazy.
It's kind of like, sort of like, I saw a movie recently where they were playing, that game where you rock, paper, scissors, choose. And it's like every time you throw, everybody's throwing the same thing. It's like, people do change. When the AI is selling to the AI, they're all gaming it. And so it's like nothing's going to happen. There's going to be an AI brain lock or something. But, it was just funny when you were saying that. I agree that it just kind of goes back to where, education, man, education. Get some, learn some. And I don't mean you have to go to fancy schools and stuff. I just mean go learn. I mean, there's so much free information out there to gather, and multiple sources, generally, there's just a lot of good content, because you're going to have a tough world to navigate as these transitions occur. But if you get into the right platforms like that and you hold that stuff and you go for platform fees, then you're part of those transitions.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what we can do, right? If we start educating, like if I start educating my kids on creating self-perpetuating money now at 15 and 12, right? And take what I'm earning and put that in for them, I don't give a shit what they do. It's like, it's like if our
did my job.
Exactly. If our entire system keeps working and allows people to perpetuate money and not have to work, and automation makes that even more possible, and then people can focus on being creative, inventing new things, philanthropic, volunteer efforts, cleaning up society, destroying climate change. I mean, there are a lot of big problems in our world that we could put brain power into that is diverted because everybody needs a job and companies have to grow. But I think there's some really interesting dynamics coming up for my kids. It's probably not going to hit until they're in their 40s or 50s, the full blown force of it. But this shit's accelerating so rapidly. Who knows?
So. Yeah, no, I mean, as these say industries disrupt human labor, or, cheap human labor, not skilled human labor, but cheap human labor, then, there's businesses that form around creating those devices and managing those devices and servicing those devices and training people how to use those devices. So there's always like a, job multiplier effect in there, but there's more jobs, and they're, tend to be higher paying. Just like
I actually am not sure there will be a job multiplier effect, because I think the robots will service the machines. I think the software will self-service itself. And I don't think humans are going to have to operate it. We already have AI that's better at diagnosing breast cancer than doctors.
Yeah.
So when you think about that impact on kind of the skilled labor, yeah, I still want a doctor to weigh in, but do I reach a point where I really don't need him?
Yeah, maybe it's a technician that knows how to operate the machine.
That's it. Push green button.
Yeah.
It's like,
enter, weight, height, age,
unlock door, turn on lights,
approve process, swap. It's like, and it's all coming through your MetaMask wallet at that point. But yeah,
I think society reaches a point where we don't have to work, and where we can invent, be creative. Don't know when that happens, but I think all of these things are happening together. DAOs, the nature of freelance work, the nature of not being a part of a company, not having a job, DeFi, self-perpetuating money, artificial intelligence, automation, self-driving trucks. Truck drivers are one of the largest employment sectors in this country, in the United States, one of the largest.
Yeah.
And there are already self-driving trucks driving back and forth across the country right now. And it's only a matter of time till all truck driving jobs are eliminated, even to the last mile, right? Right now, drivers are handling the last mile, but even then it won't be needed. And then when the truck pulls up, what gets unloaded, right?
What are you thinking? Do you consider like an Amazon Prime driver or a FedEx truck driver, or?
Well, I can see the drivers doing it, but Amazon Prime is building a robot right now to deliver the packages out of the self-driving vans. Yeah. There's a video of them experimenting with it. So there's no humans unloading the trucks. There's no warehouse workers. There's no factory workers. Everything gets automated. I don't see how it doesn't. I really don't. And that's the nature of capitalism, right? So what do we need? We need self-perpetuating money, or we need a government paid UBI. But why not just have a self-perpetuating money, right? That's investing in all of these things that are automated and happening, and pays the entrepreneur who created it or invented it or made it better, right? So I don't know. But at some point, I feel like I should be smoking a joint. At some point,
part 2 of this call. Hold on.
I'm sure we've lost every listener today. At some point, we reach a point where work isn't necessary, but then what is money for anymore, right? If every human has self-perpetuating money, and we're all investing in these financial vehicles just for shits and giggles, which is all it'll really be at that point, like what you and I are doing every day, we're investing to make money, but it's really shits and giggles, dude. I mean, think about it. This shit's not going anywhere. We're all just kind of perpetuating money making, right? Money printing. What happens when nobody needs it anymore? Right? Now, does society revert backwards because nobody wants to invent anything because there's no incentive? Or does society move forward because people are incented just to make a better society because everything else is taken care of? I don't know.
I think it's more self-interest. I think eventually, market tops and transitions are set by someone decides, I'm going to get mine before everybody else gets theirs. Okay. And when they make that move, somewhat of consequence, then it sets a price, and everybody either follows or goes, so that's crazy, man. It's going to go up. Yeah. And so in general, anything, I think it's sort of a, prisoner's dilemma kind of concept where it can't just keep going up. Or the market says if it's going to go up, the math says if it's going to go up.
Right.
So universal basic income, I don't know if getting beyond money would be super cool. I mean, I think that's maybe utopian in some ways, but
yeah, it is.
All the resources are being given to us, but also humans are lazy as shit. Okay. So, I mean, can you imagine how fat everybody's going to be then?
Well, it's interesting when UBI has been tried in lots of studies. There's this guy, Scott Santens, who's just the kind of the UBI expert on Twitter. People work more. They exercise more. They get healthier. It's actually astounding that actually when you give people money, they actually think about their physical well-being and they actually start operating on ideas and creativity. So it's crazy because the default would be, oh yeah, give people money. They're going to sit on their ass, drink and do drugs all day. Drug use drops, drinking drops, everything. It's incredible.
Yeah. But I was kind of I was more thinking in a context of if people got all their money from it, they didn't have to do anything. But I agree. If you're like a single mom and you're out there and it's like, okay, you either take the job where you got to go take the bus for an hour or drive for an hour, and you got to pay for childcare, which often leaves you with a very thin margin. It becomes like, why the fuck do that?
Exactly.
Because it's negative capital. I mean, just to have a job.
Well, and don't forget that we punish welfare recipients for getting a second job, right? You're not allowed to work if you're collecting welfare. So it's the most insane thing in the world. It's like, well, how are they ever going to climb out of the hole if the incentive is don't work, right? Yeah. You know, but if you give them a UBI, then they can work and they know they can quit, right? They don't have to put up with bullshit.
Or what if you gave them a bonus? Like if you were on welfare and then you went and got a job too, you got a bonus, which was like, double the job rate, or you got plussed up some way into a wallet of some type where you had something working for you, an asset.
Yeah.
Because then it incentivizes everybody to go look for work that they can tolerate or that they enjoy. I think a lot of stuff has to be thought about in different ways to incentivize, because you don't want people going, fuck it, I can't get it done and quitting. And you don't want them being disincentivized to work harder, but you want them to feel safe, and you want them to be able to go to the doctor, and you want them to be able to, eke out a basic level of existence, even if they can't ever pull it together.
Yeah.
It's kind of my philosophy, but everybody at the top can kind of, it's a different set there. I kind of segment between urban versus everything else in the way the societies are structured. So I'm not the guy who worries so much about the billionaires in New York and what they're doing, because they're usually going after each other most of the time. And I'm more worried about, the sort of gentry class in small town America that owns a couple of Applebee's and a gas station and a few other things, agricultural products that depend on cheap labor to drive those businesses. Yep. And a lot of them, maybe throw in a payday loan place. And a lot of them, are extractive positions in society. They don't create societal wealth. They concentrate, and they're dependent upon inefficiencies that keep people bonded in a way.
Yeah, totally.
So that's the problem to me. And so this is the Sandinistas. This is the Trump people. This is people who have been left behind. Yep. And it's always what populism tries to address.
Yep.
And we're just at this weird point now where these types of things that we talk about can help people get out of the hole.
That's right.
And, but be sensible.
Yeah.
But look into this. So
there's a great book, guy named Jeff Booth on inflation. He's a big Bitcoin maximalist, but the book is really fantastic. It's all about inflation and automation and how tech causes deflation. Really good guy. Let me find the name of the book. I think this is him. He had a successful exit from a startup. The Price of Tomorrow. Highly recommend this book. I learned a lot of lessons from this book about economics and inflation and everything else. Really, really great stuff. So highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be probably interviewing the guys behind this little project, which is a combination of NFT. Essentially, it allows you to lock vaults in NFTs, but they could be anything. It could be for a vesting schedule for founders of a project, right? They can. I just watched a video of them setting one up the other day for a project called EcoFi, I think, and they were locking all their tokens in, and they could set up in the interface, their dashboard interface to this app. They could set up an either or scenario of either unlock this on April 23rd, 2023, or when the price of the token hits $100 or $50 or whatever it was, right? So they were building an incentivization structure, but you could do all kinds of logic with these things to lock it up and put things away. You could create one that has a bunch of tokens in it to start and sell it as an NFT with the underlying tokens locked in it. And you can add more tokens to it. So if you had some kind of investing schedule and people could buy it and treat it almost like, I guess, an index fund. I don't know all the details of it, but I'm really impressed with conceptually the tool. And I think it's got a lot of cool potential in it. So I wanted to bring that up today. I'll let everybody know when we do the interview on that one.
Yeah, that looks really cool. I like it. I like the name. Combination of rebase and invest.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It implies that like daily compounding, multiple compounding, and
yep.
No, that's cool. I'm going to dig into this one.
It's very cool. I love this project. I haven't even looked at token or anything else. I just was somebody direct messaged me in Twitter asking me to take a look at it. I guess they're a supporter of the project, and I get a lot of those. But this one, Breezy, some big number, reached out to me today. I guess their token is RVST.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. It came out 28th of September. It launched.
Yeah, pretty new.
From launch. So it ran up from 30 to 40 that day and then went down as low as 15, 16. Now we're looking like a way up.
Run today.
Yeah, it's up 27% today.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig in on this one. This looks is it layer 1 or Polygon or what is it? I can't tell.
I don't know.
Well, I see some Binance Smart Chain.
Oh, wait, I could tell you right here. Hold on. The token is ETH main layer 1.
Okay.
Maybe maybe it functions across all of them. I don't know.
But that's the right. And look, only 100 million tokens out there, and they're all out there. It looks like. So
yeah. To the two primary founders, the CFO and the CEO, are doxxed US. So
perfect. Oh yeah. So
some brave people.
Yeah, but at least that they're not. Do they have any of the rug pull stuff on them or anything like?
I don't know, and I don't know about audits. I've just started looking at this project, but it's really interesting. So thanks, Breezy, for the tip, and I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can't get an interview going because I really like the project. I also like their aesthetics. I like their design. I think the NFTs look really cool, and it's nice. Just get rid of the gold coin. I hate the gold coin.
So can we stake any of our NFTs there now?
I'm wondering. I need to climb deeper into figuring it out. Like you can stake tokens in it. I don't know if you can stake NFTs inside the NFT. I don't know. I got to read the docs. I just started looking at it, but I thought you'd find it interesting.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's the one thing we're always looking at too, is how do we unlock some of the NFT value? But this shows me this is kind of
could you create an NFT that you sell that's like a index fund NFT, right? And so people decide whether or not they think you have what it takes to pick investments, right? So maybe they want to make a long-term play, but they don't know what to invest in. And so you say, well, you know what? I'm putting together a bundle. Maybe you hide what's in it, right? Maybe you have a track record and you do you gamify it. And it's like, all right, I'm picking my DeFi 2.0 tokens, but I'm not telling you what they are.
Okay, how about this? Each one's in the machine, like the Gachapon machine, and there's like the one that's like a 15% return, let's say, or and then all the other ones, like there's 3 that are like 10, and then there's a whole bunch that are like 0.01 or something.
Joe, that's awesome.
So if we use Kilroy to power it.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the Kilroy doc, by the way?
I just started going through it before the call, so I'll go through it. But
it's just a big brain dump.
So think about that. All right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another one I'm reaching out to. They just raised around, I think, 23 million is Somalia. This is a bridge and cross chain, et cetera, but it's all about automating trading, lowering gas transaction fees on mainnet for automated trading. I don't know what the impermanent loss protection is, but I'm going to take a look at this tool. I don't know if this is only for whales or if it works for anybody, but definitely going to take a closer look at this because this is tools I need every day. And as we move the material indicators products into DeFi, this might be a really good partner for us. So I've reached out to Zaki, the founder, which I'm assuming it's Zaki, which is what
Manian is the last name. Yeah, they got 3 guys out doxed. So
again, no, the whole team is doxed. Well, the crazy thing is every single one of them is a co-founder, which is a little odd.
That gets a little unwieldy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. 11 co-founders.
So what is their big thing? Bidirectional Ethereum
automation in trading to reduce gas fees and to protect against impermanent loss.
All right.
So
and they're on a Cosmos.
Well, it's Cosmos. They're using Cosmos Stargate SDK and a bidirectional Ethereum bridge, but it's layer 1 Ethereum.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's going to be angles there with gas fees and stuff going forward to make that cheaper, I think.
Trying to get Route 2 Fi on the show. We were talking this morning. He's got this 160% APY, looping investment where you borrow against, you stake, you borrow, blah, blah, blah. This is a really good tweet about how to do it, but I wanted to get him on the show to talk about it. So I've invited him on to DeFi lunch.
Yeah. If you want to go full degen, that's the play. I mean, it's kind of like 999 on steroids.
Yeah, but this is all stable coins. That's the interesting thing, right? If you think a coin's going to maintain its peg, it's pretty safe, but you don't have to take as much to get to 160%. He says at the end, he's going to do it less leverage and he's going to try to get 100 to 120%, which,
so again, that's on stables. So,
but I mean, 160% or 120, hell, 100% staking USD coins is friggin' awesome.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I think you could see it sometimes 40, 60% if you're lucky on some of these rollover days. But, if you could go do 120, 140 low risk.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy to know.
All right. So this came up from that. This is a real arcade racing game built on the blockchain with some kinds of incentives. So I'm going to make my son research this one.
Yeah, that looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
There was something else I was looking at when maybe it was, kind of on the line of with like router and define how they're positioning in between the layer ones. I think anything that's doing that, particularly NFTs, liquidity pooling, SEX indexes kind of thing. It's like I was reading a lot up on Luna today and the UST. And just how they keep that peg set, which tied into what you said. There's so much opportunity out here that it's just I mean, what'd you end up doing with Wonderland?
I'm in. Okay. I'm in. I put a couple of grand in. I mean, I'm not crazy in, but I'm in.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about. I just haven't gotten the Avalanche. Can you send me a link later for Avalanche RPCs? I saw a couple, but I wasn't sure if they were the right ones.
I'll send you the one I have in my wallet.
That one.
When I went into Wonderland, or maybe it was to the swap, it automatically configured it for me, but let me get it for you. I didn't have to actually put it in.
Oh, I did see that. I thought that was on Moon River though. I couldn't remember where that was.
Yeah, let me, but I'll find it for you.
Yeah. And also, everyone, Sushi Swap, there were some nice yield pools there, which, and the Klima token has been bouncing around it's at 1722 right now. Glad I missed that one.
Just in the sense that total mess.
Yeah. When you have things like that going on, it starts worrying me.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying it's not a good project. Of course, I love the goals, but, I was trying to go for the 5X out of the price differential.
Right.
Capture that. I wasn't necessarily coming in for the long hold, and I did. Okay, I see it.
All right. So, anything else urgent today, Joe?
No, I think that's it. Like I said, just where are we at on ETH and BTC right now? We're sitting there at.
Let me go back to the chart.
We got BTC at 66,277.
40.76 for ETH.
Yeah,
and Binance, BNB's broke 500.
That was the other thing I've been thinking about lately too. Before we go, is we should be thinking about some BNB and some of these strategies. If you're going to play layer ones, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We should start taking a look at BSC a little more, I guess.
Yeah. because it definitely, I mean, I know they've thrown under some regulatory pressure, but, you know, I think they'll get through that okay in the end, do whatever they got to do to make it happen. But, you know, it's one I kind of miss, and because I keep remembering it being $20.
Yeah,
selling at like 270 or something and going, woo! I'll tell you my all-time story next time, everyone. Which was
sounds good, dude.
Yeah, but anyhow, I'll talk to you later, Brad. You have a good
all right,
day.
buddy. Have a good day.
Talk to you.
See ya.
October still going on.
Still happening, man. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.